Right, so we are going to continue from our last video where we're calling a script include from a client script. I'm sorry, no, we're calling a script include from a UI action. So the goal of this video today is to select one of these or multiple of these game logs on the CAA game logs table. And once we select these, we would like to be able to use this UI action baller, which would create duplicate records and add them to the memorable matchups table. As you can see, I don't have any records right here. So last time, what we did talk about was the calling UI, using the UI action to call the script include. So we're going to start with the UI action updates for this. As you can see, the first change is going to be this variable for the selected records. We're going to use this glist.getCheck, and this captures the sysID of the selected records, and it returns a comma separated string of sysids. All right. And then down here, what you're going to notice is when we're calling our script include, we're going to call the Kobe script include, but then we have a couple of different add parameters here. So the first one is going to be calling the function, which is to create the memorable matchup. And the second one, what it's going to be doing is grabbing the variable that contains our list of records that we have selected, and it's going to return them back to this UI action here. So if we jump into the script include, we got a lot more going on here. All right, so here we have the Kobe script include right here, and this is our function create memorable matchups, and this is where you're going to see our sysparm selected record and our selected record. So this is getting all the selected sysids from that table. I have a little message here. If no records returned, that means that there was no record selected. And then we have this var sysid array. So this selected records dot split, this converts our string to an array. So by doing that, what we'll be able to do is we'll be able to create a for loop that will go through each one of our records that we have selected, iterate by one, and we'll be able to duplicate those records. So the next thing I have is down here in line 12 and line 13. Let's talk about the variable successful count and failure count and why I added these. So the variables below are for tracking how many records were successfully inserted and how many failed. The variables being set to 0 ensures that the count starts at 0. All right, so we're going to initiate this to start at 0, and here is our for loop that we're creating. We're taking our sys ID array, which is up here, our array that should have all the list of the records that we selected. So let's just define this for loop for anyone who doesn't know. So the I equals 0 means the start with the first item in the array. So arrays, they don't start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They start at 0. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So the loop will continue as long as I is less than the array length. And I'm sorry, the cat's in the background using their scratch post. Sorry about that. The loop will continue as long as I is less than the array length, and after each iteration, it increases by 1. This var game log sysid, this is the access is the current element in the sysid array based on I. Cool, so that's where all of our information is. So if we come down here, what we're doing here is we are using a glide record to capture the information that is on the CAA game log, and then we're going to use that to create our new glide record, which is on the memorable matchups table. Here we have the matchup gr.initialize, which creates our record. Basically, we grabbed our record from the CAA game log table, And then we came to the memorable matchups table with this new cleared record with information. And what we're going to do in this next section is we're going to update all of our fields. So that's what we got going on through lines 26 through 36. And then I got a couple of if else statements, and here we are as our return and our type down here. If I go back to our UI action, you can see that's where we're calling our two parameters. And line 14, this is when we're getting our response back from the script include. And I have a couple of alerts if it worked or if it didn't. So without further ado, let's go ahead and I'm just going to refresh this. Select these three records. Baller. Memorable matchups created successfully. Awesome. If I come over to this memorable matchups table and refresh, this is what we got going on. If I click into this record, here you can see all that information. One question I do have to the people that are watching this video is I don't know how to change the link. So in order for me to access one of these records, I have to use the created column, and I'd like to be able to change that. I thought it was something with the display value on this table, but it is not. So I'm wondering how I can change that. So if you can help with that and you have some comments, please email me or shoot me a message in LinkedIn, leave a comment, and I would love to hear your input on that. So thanks for watching today, and we'll see you next time.